Nothing has just announced its 4th generation of true wireless earbuds, the Nothing Ear 3. Yeah, that's what it's called. Their 4th flagship earbuds are called the Nothing Ear 3. Confused? So am I. What exactly is new, and is this even worth taking a look at? Well, yeah, there are some cool things about it, and the big feature and the most standout feature, I think, with the Nothing Ear 3 is the super mic feature. But what does that mean? Well, basically, Nothing has put a dual microphone system right in the charging case. And with this mic system, you're able to do things like take notes or answer a call while making sure your voice is heard loud and clear. Much better than just having the microphone on the earbuds themselves. It's basically another microphone to hopefully record clearer speech, especially if you're in loud environments. The way this works is you essentially press the talk button, which is here on the front of the charging case. And with the talk button, you can do things like press it to record voice notes directly from the charging case without even needing to wear the earbuds. That's actually pretty cool. It is kind of like having one of those old voice recorders that, interviewers would have. Actually, is it old? I'm pretty sure people still use it. And what's neat is if you have a Nothing phone with Nothing OS on it, your recordings automatically sync to Essential Space and are auto-transcribed. And this is actually really cool if you're somebody who, wants to record a lecture and then just have the notes auto-transcribed for you later. Or if you're doing an interview, just having the transcriptions available on your Nothing phone, I can see some utility for that. That's pretty cool. Now, in order to get good mic quality out of the super mic, Nothing is using what they call ambient filtering technology, which is essentially their version of voice isolation to help focus on your voice while cutting out background noise. But since we're talking about mics as well, each earbud also got some microphone improvements. They now each have 3 directional microphones and a bone conduction voice pickup unit. Basically, the way the bone conduction pickup unit works is that the unit detects jaw and ear canal vibrations, converts that into electrical signals, and should help ensure precise voice pickup. I can see this being really useful, especially if you're in a loud environment, since voice pickup unit will be less susceptible to the noise around you. So if you're trying to take a call or take notes while in a stadium or just in a large crowd or even just a busy cafe with loud music playing, I could see this being useful and should result in better microphone quality during your recordings or calls. But to help the microphone as well, the Nothing Ear 3 earbuds also use a multi-channel AI's noise cancellation algorithm, which Nothing claims is trained on 20 million hours of real-world audio. It should help suppress background noise and just do a better job at isolating your voice. And according to Nothing, the microphone should help reduce wind noise by about 25 decibels. But again, we'll have to get these into our labs for testing to see just how well Nothing's claims hold up. But speaking of noise cancellation, wow, there's a lot of segues in this video. The Nothing Ear 3 also features adaptive noise cancellation, and Nothing claims that it should cancel noise up to 45 decibels. And because it is an adaptive noise cancelling system, the earbuds are monitoring for changes in fit and for sound leakage. So if the fit changes because you're walking or working out, the ANC system should be able to compensate for that and help provide a more consistent listening experience. Now, besides ANC, there are also some sound quality improvements as well. These are now using 12mm dynamic drivers, which is a millimeter larger than the previous Nothing Ear launched last year. Nothing has also redesigned the diaphragm of the earbuds, which they say should help boost the bass by about 4 to 6 decibels and boost the treble by up to 4 decibels. Design-wise, as you can see when I hold it up, it looks pretty much the same as the last generation, although with some notable improvements. For starters, you can see that this is the first Nothing Ear product that actually uses metal components with polished accents visible throughout the casing. And honestly, I really like it. I think it really is a more refined design language. I kind of like this more than the AirPods Pro, which, are just full white plastic. Now, other notable performance specs includes battery life. You should get up to 10 hours of listening on a single charge, which is about an hour and a half more than the predecessor. And you should get about 38 hours total of listening time with the charging case. The earbuds do support fast charging, where 10 minutes of USB-C charging gets you about 10 hours of playback, but if you want something a little bit more convenient, yes, these earbuds support wireless charging. In terms of connectivity, you've got Bluetooth 5.4 with support for the LDAC codec for higher quality streaming over Bluetooth, and there's also a low latency mode for watching movies or for playing games while you're on the go, and Nothing says that this mode should provide less than 120 milliseconds latency. Now, the new Nothing Ear 3 Remember, it's not the 4, it's the Nothing Ear 3, comes in both black and white, and it's going to be available for $179 US, which is about a $30 increase from the retail price of last year's model, but still cheaper than something like the AirPods Pro 3, the Sony WF-1000XM5, or the Bose QC Ultra earbuds. And considering the feature set, it honestly might be a pretty good deal, depending on how well it performs, but stay tuned for that. Pre-orders will begin for the Nothing Ear 3 starting September 18 via Nothing's website and select partners, and there will be store availability starting September 25 in select regions. Now, here at SoundGuys, we were actually really impressed with the previous generation of the Nothing Ear, just last year's version, and so again, we were really surprised to find out that they were going to launch a follow-up so soon, especially since the typical upgrade cycle is about every 2 years for these companies. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our full testing results and for our full review. But until then, if you want a little refresher on how the last generation earbuds performed and why we like them so much, then make sure to check out our review from last year right here. Hey, that rhymed. I didn't even plan that.